Hello and welcome to the news at 10 on Nta News24. We're live in Abuja. I am Dennis Adegunloye. The headlines. President Tinubu commences state visit to Paris. Inferno destroys sections of Radio Nigeria in Lagos. And Comrade Al-Hassan Yahya emerges new president of Nigeria Union of Journalists. Let's begin in France, where President Bola Tinubu is set to begin his official engagements on his state visit to the country. The president, accompanied by the First Lady, arrived in Paris Wednesday evening for the three-day visit to fortify Nigeria-France relations. The reception at Orly Airport marked the ceremonial start to his visit. Statements by the presidential advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, indicates that the official engagements will begin at the historic Les Invalides, where French President Emmanuel Macron and First Lady Brigitte Macron will receive President Tinubu. There is also a scheduled reception at the Élysée Palace honoring the Nigerian leader. The visit aims to enhance bilateral ties, focusing on key areas such as agriculture, security, education, health, youth engagements, innovation, and energy transition. In collaboration with President Macron, President Tinubu will address initiatives to boost youth exchange programs and enhance skills in automation, entrepreneurship, and leadership. The visit includes strategic political and diplomatic discussions on shared values concerning finance, solid minerals, trade and investments, and communication. Both leaders will also attend a session hosted by the France-Nigeria Business Council, coordinating private sector involvements in economic developments. Now back in Nigeria, tragedy struck the premises of Radio Nigeria early this morning when an inferno razed down sections of its Lagos office. Firefighters successfully prevented the spread of the inferno. Director, Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service, Margaret Adeshe, had earlier reassured the public that the situation was under control. Efforts of the State and Federal Fire Service, including other emergency responders and the Nigeria Police, continue, and the firefighters were able to confine the inferno to the studio section of the U-shaped one-story building where it emanated. There are no reported casualties, and the cause of the fire is as yet unknown. Comrade Al-Hassan Yahya has emerged the new national president of the Nigeria Union of Journalists. He defeated his closest rival, Dele Atumbi, with 436 votes. Atumbi got 97 votes, while Garba Mohammed was third in the race with 39 votes. Nigeria made a strong statement to strengthen governance, transparency, and collaboration from leaders and industry players to harness Africa's wealth for sustainable development. Vice President Kashim Shettima stated the nation's position at the inaugural international exhibition of extractive and energy resources in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire. The summit, with the theme Policies and Strategies for the Sustainable Developments of the Extractive and Energy Industries, brought together leaders from across Africa to discuss innovative solutions for resource management and energy security. The Vice President noted Nigeria's leadership in transparency reforms with the creation of the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative in 2004. stressing the importance of regional cooperation in addressing shared challenges. He described how restructuring the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation under the Petroleum Industry Act 2021 into a commercial-oriented entity has transformed the sector. Shettima reiterated the critical role of local content developments in driving economic growth, saying through the Local Content Act of 2010, Nigeria has increased local participation in the oil and gas industry from 5% to nearly 30%. The vice president of the host country, Tremoko Melie Kunni, highlighted the benefits of collaboration among countries and stakeholders in the energy and extractive industries, including cross-breeding of ideas, job creation, and greater maximization of natural resources for the well-being of citizens. While cautioning against pollution, climate degradation, and associated factors, especially in the mining sector, he said Côte d'Ivoire is doing its best to reduce emissions of environmental pollution. Now, processes leading to the presentation of the 2025 appropriation bill are gaining momentum as the House of Representatives has passed the medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper for 2025 to 2027, as submitted by President Bola Tinubu. National Assembly correspondent Nta News24 reports on the key assumptions and other resolutions at plenary.
The passage of the medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper for 2025 to 2027 followed consideration and approval of recommendations of the Joint Committee on Finance as well as National Planning and Economic Development. The House adopted the projected oil benchmark prices pegged at $75 per barrel for 2025 as well as $76.2 and $75.3 per barrel for 2026 and 2027. Domestic crude oil production for 2025 is projected at 2.06 million barrels per day, GDP growth rate at 4.6%, while the exchange rate is pegged at 1,400 naira to the US dollar for the next 3 years.
And to get to this projection level, the operators of the NUPRC gave us the details. As of today, they are above 1.8, they are closer to 2 million.
As at yesterday, the production rate was 1.05 barrel. Yesterday, 26. We can look at the facts. These are things that will actually help us in proper planning.
We just need to look at the increased victories by our security forces, the huge investments coming up on road infrastructure.
It's a working document, it's a work in progress. Even if we pass it today, if there's any need tomorrow for any adjustment, this same House will sit to review and pass it as necessary.
Several bills passed second reading, including bills seeking enhanced categorization of the magistrate court.
To expand the meaning of judicial office to include the magistrate court in Nigeria.
A bid to provide for incorporation of risk management function in all government bodies in Nigeria and for related matters.
Lawmakers adopted a motion seeking construction of the 75-kilometer Gaidam-Damasak road to ease socio-economic activities.
If in the event there is still delay on the part of the Federal Ministry of Works, the House should urge the Northeast Development Commission to intervene as these roads needed a very urgent attention from the government.
The House also adopted a motion for urgent legislative action to back the presidential CNG initiative and prevent further loss of lives due to the use of substandard CNG tanks in some parts of the country. From the National Assembly, Nta News24, Nta News.
And joining us now to speak further on the 2025 to 2027 MTEF is an investment and development economist, Ogbonna Okuku. Very welcome to the News at 10.
All right, thank you for having me.
All right, just tell us, what do you think of the oil benchmarks projected for 2025, 2026 and 2027 in this new MTEF?
Now, so what happens most of the time when you're designing an MTEF is you look at all sectors of the economy, especially the income dynamics, and then then those saddled with responsibility, you have a conversation with them, look at their projections. So it's from the projections that you have gotten from, let's say, those who manage the oil installations or structures. They are the ones that have given you, okay, by this time we'll be producing this, by this time we'll be producing this. So those things don't come, from the air. They come from statistics, data is given to you. So when those data is submitted, so that's what the managers of the economy will now look at and then project based on that. So it's that projection which has been submitted. Of course, this is it's just like every transaction. You give targets to people who work for you. You make sure that they deliver. There are deliverables, and then you give them deliverables, and then they must deliver based on the projections that they have given to you, which you have in turn pushed as part of the framework.
All right. Some have expressed some concern that the figures predicted in the MTF 2025 to 2027 may be challenging to achieve. Like there's 4.4% growth in the economy and 15.75% reduction in inflation in 2025. What would you say to this?
Now, if you see the direction the fiscal managers are going, yes, they need to do a whole lot more because the investment in infrastructure that will support and propel our productive sector, which has to do with agriculture, those level of investment that is going in there, of course, will help. Of course, we're looking at foreign direct investment, which we are projecting that will be a lot higher from the coming years. So some of this, the entire thing that functions in the wheel of development are things that when the managers of the economy, look at them, have an helicopter view of the entire ecosystem. So it gives them that, should I say, that belief that it's possible to achieve. Yes, economic growth is achievable. And then when you're talking about economic growth, that means there is feeding. So what are the things you're going to be feeding the economy with? I followed the debate yesterday, and I listened to Honorable Gaza. He said something that was very profound. He said, what are the things we have on ground regarding the exchange rates that we have on ground that will help make sure that we're able to achieve these things, and these things are realizable, whether it's just for you to do the work that is that is around it, and then make sure that there is fiscal discipline, there is prudence when it comes to expenditure, and making sure that we put our investment where those low-hanging fruits, when it comes to short-term, long-terms, and then making sure that we derive the best out of our lifelines.
All right, and lastly, how well would you say MTF performed last year, and how would that impact the 2025 to 2027 MTF projections?
Now, the reality is, I wouldn't say it performed very well because, there were a lot of indices, there were a lot of factors, global factors, because, the entire globe, had the issue of the inflation was global. And then the oil prices, that went up, affected, the energy shock that came in, that affected transportation and all of that. So, it affected productivity generally. But, here, a lot has happened to us when it comes to security, when it comes to the energy management. So there's been a whole lot, and then the introduction of the new, when I say new hope agenda, is the direction, being able to say, okay, this is what we are worth. So can we build from what we are worth? So that instead of the bubble kind of economy we've been running before, trying to subsidize everything. Yes, it's very painful, it's very hard, but the truth is, if you build from here, you will build well, and whatever you build here stands from now.
Definitely. All right, Ogbon Kuku, investments and developments economist, many thanks for your perspectives on this. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
All right, this is the news at 10 on Nta News 24. Still ahead. Yahya Bello in news again. The former governor of Kogi State is to spend more than a week in EFCC custody. Details after the break. All right, welcome back. Let's go back to France now. And President of France, Emmanuel Macron, has hosted Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu to a dinner. And joining me live now is our State House correspondent, Musbah Damahab, to give us a feel of how things are progressing over there. Hello, Musbao.
Yes, thank you. The stage is now set for the reception, the early one for President Bola Tinubu in Paris here, and we at the Hotel National de Invalides, where the president will be received first. And you can see the Republican Guard are inside right there to receive the president. Any moment from now, we expect the president to come in, but there are some things very, very significant that we have to let you know. This is the Hotel National de Invalides, which is very, very significant in the history of Paris. Here, let's get someone who will help us to understand what this stands for in the history of France, and that is Mr. Oche Egwa, an assistant director in the State House Information Department. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Oche.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. For us in Nigeria, this is a great honor and a unique opportunity for the president to be on a state visit. Now, a state visit is very different from an official visit. An official visit, many presidents are invited, probably for a function or a conference. But for a state visit, the president is invited as an individual and as the representative of Nigeria. So it's Nigeria actually visiting France. And the French president is going to receive our president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, at this historic place. Now, the Hotel Les Avides is over 354 years. And it's peculiar in so many ways. For one, this is where Napoleon Bonaparte was buried. Also, this place served as a historic site where, back in the days, over 300 years ago, after the war, most of the people that were rendered invalid, like those who lost their arms, who lost their sight during the war, they were kept here. So this place is a museum, it's a hotel, and it's also the burial place for Napoleon Bonaparte. After this place, we are going to the presidential palace, which is known as the Élysée, and the president is going to be received there in a full military, performance ceremony, where he's going to receive twice. We are going to have a political meeting there. We are going to have an economic meeting there at different sites. And of course, he's going to have a tete-a-tete with the French president. It seems that we have a lot coming for the president and his first lady today. But significantly, you have talked about what this place means. And now, as far as you can remember, how many Nigerian presidents have been here in the past to be honored this way? Well, since the democratic dispensation, I can't quite remember if any has been here. We've had so many official visits, but in terms of a Nigerian president coming here, from their own record, the last time a Nigerian president was on a state visit was in the year 2000. But if he was here, there's no record to show that a Nigerian president was at this particular Hotel Les Invalides. So that means this is a very, very significant reception for President Bola Tinubu. Absolutely. All right, Mr. Oche, thank you so much. I will get back to you again. So that is it for now. We expect a lot to come through on this visit because we have a number of governors led by the chairman of the Governors Forum, Abdurrahman Abdrazak of Kwara State. And of course, we have ministers too from Agri, Solid Minerals Development, Information, and of course, we have health here. That means we have a lot of issues that will be on the table for President and his team to discuss with the French government. So that's it for now. As the events unfolds, we'll bring you in to get abreast of the issues. Thank you.
All right, thanks very much, Musbao, our State House correspondent there in Paris, giving us the lowdown on how things are progressing, and we'll certainly be expecting the details of that dinner that I introduced as well. Now, as this year's National Greek Show continues, the National Agriculture Foundation has again engaged youths and women in agriculture with a view to creating opportunities for business networking and innovative access to markets. Dr. Alabi reports that this year's seminar provided a unique platform for stakeholders to brainstorm on practical approaches for strengthening the capacity of young people and women as critical actors in the promotion of food security in Nigeria.
Is to ensure to see how these small rural smallholder farmers can be able to be supported with either loans or grants where they can be trained on how to write good proposals.
The agri sector can employ millions of Nigerian youth if only our state government can work together with the federal and all of us as stakeholders to begin to identify the various core needs and aspirations of young people, the women and the PWDs.
It's very engaging because this is the first time to be here. So I learned many challenges that some of the farmers are been having outside, like in the North Central.
I have learned that as a woman, as a youth, we should have an idea. You should be creative.
The project, tagged Stronger Community Through Stronger Protection of Environment in Northeast Nigeria, was funded by USAID's Bureau of Humanitarian Assistance. Former Governor of Kogi State, Yahya Bello, has been remanded in EFCC custody till December 10th, 2024, when the court delivers a ruling on his bail application. Judiciary correspondent Austin Nanyebe reports that this was after his arraignments and arguments on his bail before the court.
After taking plea of not guilty, the former governor was remanded to EFCC custody till December 10, 2024. The former governor was remanded in EFCC custody after he entered a plea of not guilty to a 16-count charge preferred against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission when he was arraigned before the FCT High Court in Abuja. The alleged charge includes misappropriation and misuse of public funds, including acquiring multiple high-value properties in Mitama and Asokoro district for Abuja, the United Arab Emirates, and the United States of America. The funds allegedly misused amount to billions of naira. Yahya Bello and two others are accused of breaching public trust and engaged in dishonest and financial recklessness during his days in office. After taking their plea, the defendants' counsel Joseph Daudu, SAN, moved a bail application which was opposed by the prosecution counsel Kemi Pinheiro, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. The defendants' counsel told the court that the accused are entitled to bail, being that they remain innocent until found guilty by the court. But Pinheiro, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, said that the only relevant application before the court was the motion for bail filed on November 22, 2024. The operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission have been on the trail of the former governor since 2023 when he left office, until Monday when he submitted himself to the anti-graft agency. From the FCT High Court, Austin Nanyebe, Nta News.
Let's now head over to the world of sports.
Enyimba started their CAF Confederation Cup group stage campaign with a 2-0 defeat to Egypt's Al Masry on Wednesday. Mahmoud Amada gave the host the lead after 5 minutes and then doubled the advantage 14 minutes later.
Even that angle, it's almost impossible to see.
Enyimba will entertain Odas Zamalek of Egypt in their next game on December 8th. And in the Nigeria Premier Football League Matchday 14 results, Remo Stars defeated regional arch rival Shooting Stars 2-0 at the Kenneth Township Stadium to extend their dominance in the Southwestern Derby and also return to the top spots on the MPFL table. A goal from the penalty spot by Sikiru Alimi and a second half strike from Adedayo Olamilekon handed all 3 points to Remo Stars. Elsewhere, Bayelsa United defeated Niger Tornadoes 4-1 in Yenagoa. Remo Stars have now jumped to the top position with 26 points, although same with Rivers United, who played a 1-1 draw with Sunshine Stars.
We'll Olusheye Adeagbo reporting on the sports desks. And that concludes the news at 10 on Nta News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Dennis Adigbo.